Hello and welcome to Arsenal Analysed. I'm JC. I hope you're doing well. Today I bring you another scout report on the channel as Arsenal have signed Brazilian forward Marquinhos. Young, probably not part of the first team, but we'll have to wait and see. Breaking it all down, of course, in today's video. And if you are looking forward to it, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're new around here, why not consider subscribing, as it massively helps me and the channel out. But what will we be covering during today's video? Of course, all of the basics. Not many of us are aware of who he is. Before having a look at his movement and heat maps from seasons past, of course, some numbers. What has he produced? How good of a player is he? And how does he compare to other players at Arsenal? Before finishing up with his strengths, weaknesses, and how he compares across the Brazilian National League. So without no further ado, let's jump into the player profile. Marquinhos, formerly of Sao Paulo, 19 years old, recently 19 as well. He completed a full season in the National League at the age of 18. Predominantly plays on the right-hand side, left-footed, so more of an inside forward. However, he is just as comfortable playing as a left inside forward, a central attacking striker, or even a second striker. So variety of positions, which is nice to see. Low centre of gravity at 5'7", so a bit of a handful for the slightly taller defenders. Now, the contract is said to be around 4 years in total, with an option of a further year should Arsenal wish to take him up on an additional season. And the fee is believed to be somewhere in the region of around £3 million. Now, he's a highly rated forward in Brazil, and I imagine that this fee would have been much, much higher. But because of some complications with a contract situation which was offered to the player, some clauses were met, and he's gone very, very cheap compared to what that fee could have possibly have been. But how does he compare to other wingers at the club, which is where he could potentially be used should he have a pre-season? From what I understand, he will go out on loan unless he impresses, like someone called Martinelli did when he first joined the club for £6 million from the lower tiers of the Brazilian leagues. But as you can appreciate, there's probably not as much data available on this particular player compared to others. But we can see here on the left-hand side that in his most recent season, which was the calendar year of 2021, because the Brazilian league is played at a slightly different time compared to European football, he's predominantly been utilised on the left-hand side. However, we can see some yellow splodges on that right, which is where I see him playing in the future. Very similarly to maybe a Marquinhos Sao Paulo, who is a right winger, right inside forward, who just cuts in using his stronger foot, the left one, very, very similarly to Marquinhos. However, with him having been utilised on that left-hand side, I thought it would be a good idea to compare him to a Martinelli, who's come through a similar system to Marquinhos. And we can see there that a lot of both Martinelli, Saka and Marquinhos' activity is in the opposition half. Although when signing for Arsenal, he will be coupled with many, many defensive duties. But going out on loan should hopefully ready him for the Premier League in future seasons. With regards to his numbers, I've had to break this down slightly different to some of our previous videos. For those regular watchers, you'll have noticed that some of the numbers and pieces of information are slightly different to previous videos. And the main reason for that is, going back to what I mentioned before, there isn't as much readily available information for Marquinhos because he's not one of those high-profile players playing in a high-profile league. But nevertheless, I've managed to dig out some information and we'll run through it to see how he compares to the likes of Marquinhos Sao Paulo and Gabriel Martinelli from the previous league seasons. And as per normal, in white, it's over the course of the season, and in yellow is per 90 minutes. So he's featured a total of 21 times in the National Brazilian League, making 5 starts and on average recording around 33 minutes across those 21 games. Now compare that to the likes of Marquinhos, Saka and Martinelli. They have recorded much higher appearances, starts and minutes, and that's because they're more part of the first team fold compared to Marquinhos, who was slowly starting to make his name. This was essentially his breakthrough campaign, if you will. He did feature more than this, a total of 41 times when you compare this to the State League, which is a lower quality league involving clubs from the state of Sao Paulo and states around him. And if you did look at that, his total appearances 41, 4 goals and 3 assists compared to the 0 goals and 1 assist from the National League, where he only got the 1, as you can see on screen. Now, if we compare that to the likes of Bukayo Saka, who was our top goal scorer and top goal contributor from last season, 11 and 7, 6 and 6 with Martinelli. A young talent isn't necessarily something that I'm concerned with at this point of time, as he learns his craft in future seasons. Discipline-wise, he's absolutely fine. Only 2 yellow cards across those 21 appearances. Nothing to really be concerned about there. Shots per game is 0.8. So he's more of a player that likes to get into the position and help a colleague as opposed to score those goals himself. And we'll compare those to the likes of Bukayo Saka and Martinelli. Not quite where he needs to be, but he's a player, as mentioned already. He's learning, he's developing, and he certainly will get that at Arsenal. Key passes per game, 0.4. Crosses per game, 0.3, with a success rate of 46%. Aerial duels, 1.7. 36% of those aerial duels per game are won. And he is successful in 50% of his ground duels. So that's 2 ground duels per game that he is successful in. So if we have a look at those numbers there and how they compare to the likes of Bukayo Saka and Martinelli, are there any areas that really kind of jump out at me compared to the likes of those two? So aerial duels is definitely slightly higher compared to Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. Crossing, I would like to see a little bit higher. We know that Arsenal are a team that really like to cross the ball, whether it be an aerial cross or a driven cross, get that ball into the danger zone for someone to get in the end of it. And it is actually one of his strengths, according to some reports that I've read throughout the last few weeks. His passing as well, 7.3 accurate passes per game. So 77% of the passes that he makes are accurate. Now, if we compare that to the likes of Bukayo Saka and Martinelli, it's double or triple. Now, that might be because he's only getting around 33 minutes per game. I'm sure there are games where he's recorded 60, 70 minutes, so he does need to pump those numbers up. Maybe he's not part of a Sao Paulo team that moves the ball and keep possession the way Arsenal do, so that could have a natural increase as he starts to feature in an Arsenal shirt, whether it be next season or in future seasons. So some good numbers there. Nothing that really stands out to me. Definitely a high thought prospect, according to those in Brazil. But let's have a look at his strengths, weaknesses, and how he compares to other wingers and forwards in the Brazilian league. So from what I've read, because let's be honest, he's not a player that I've exactly kept an eye on. Yes, I've watched some compilation videos, but those videos always really highlight what you want to see, and they can make you think one thing when it's actually a very, very different story. So let's have a little look here. Very, very quick player. So pace and acceleration are a key part of his game, which is good to see as a winger. Ball control and dribbling, very, very good. Loves to run at a player, fearless in that regard. First touch is said to be very, very good. Crossing is supposed to be another one of his big, big pluses, although those numbers in the previous section didn't really highlight that. Although, let's say that when he does cross the ball, even though it's not in high volume, they're always of good quality. And he's a creative player, a creative Brazilian. So we love to see that. His decision-making in that final third can be a little bit dodgy at times. He definitely needs to improve in this particular department. But at the age of 19, this will be something that happens naturally, hopefully over time, something that could be coached out of him, something that can be pointed out in training from the likes of Arteta and his coaching team. He can over-dribble the ball sometimes. He can keep the ball a little bit too long. Maybe he's looking to impress. Maybe he's a skillful player who's really looking to make a bit of a statement. And that comes with the next part there, which is he can be too confident at times. Maybe he needs to release the ball when he's got it at his feet, which kind of goes hand in hand with that decision making. But if we have a quick look here at his little chart on the left-hand side and how it compares to other colleagues in the Brazilian league, we can get a good idea of how good he is in that particular league. So let's have a look here. So along the top hand side, we've got aerial duels. He's in the bottom 1 percentile, which isn't great. Attack value added along the top, pretty much from left to right, some very, very low numbers. But what might be a better thing to do is have a little look at the numbers along the bottom of this particular graph. So shots per 90 minutes, 1.98 over the course of the season. So that puts him in the top 21 percentile. So that is very, very low numbers. We've also got open play expected assists in the top 58%, 0.11, so 0.11. Isn't too bad, but dribbles completed, top 82 percentile, which is absolutely great. Progressive carries, top 84 percentile. Passing efficiency, top 90 percentile. Defensive actions, top 93 percentile. So in terms of those attacking attributes and how he compares to other wingers at the age of just 19, and let's be honest, the Brazilian league is full of many exceptional talents. Those attacking numbers there are very, very good. And you can certainly see why Arsenal wanted to sign this player. But that is going to about wrap things up for this video. By all means, go back and have a little look at any of the information that we've covered today at your own leisure. The big question is, will he feature for Arsenal next season? Will he go out on loan? Has Edu found another gem? Maybe another Gabriel Martinelli? We'll have to wait and see. Let me know down in the comments below. Are you excited about this player? Do you expect to see him feature for Arsenal in the next few years? I'd love to hear you down below. But if you have found today's video informative and educating and you have enjoyed, smash that like button. If you're new around here, go ahead and subscribe. But for now, I'm JC and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.